Family time is important or not? Very important. You should give. That's right. You should give enough time to your family, your children, right? And then, if I've asked you to do this action research, some time for action research. So that is how you can balance. If you neglect one, it will affect the other, right? If you don't do action research, it will affect your regular teaching. You will not be able to improve yourself, bring any changes, right? And if you only do, if you're involved in action research completely, day in, day out, then you may not be able to give time to your family, all right? Coming back from school, sitting and writing your report till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, right? That will affect your family life. So you should try to strike a balance. Action plan for 3 months. Out of the 3 months plan, you will implement activities for 1 month, all right? 1 month plan you have to implement. So do you have to write a report like this and submit at the end of this training? Do you have to write and submit at the end of the training or not? No, not necessary. So when will you submit your report? After 1 month. After 1 month. That's it. Soft copies. If you're writing it by hand, take photos, convert it into PDF and send a soft copy by mail. Alright. Action research need not be based on classroom problems. It could be based on the learning outcomes. I think some of you have selected learning outcomes. So for 1 month, conduct activities related to learning outcome. 1 or 2. Select 1 or 2 learning outcomes. Conduct activities, a series of activities related to the same outcomes, and see if there is any changes. If there are any changes, if there is any progress in your students. See, that is what I want all of you to do, to see if there are any changes in your teaching, in your students' learning, right? Not doing it mechanically, right? You do it with a lot of interest. Yes. Okay, so now 1 or 2 reports he will present after this. Who would like to present the next one? You want to present? Yes. Yes, sir. Introduce yourself.
My dear friends. Introduction to third class action research. Action research is a reflective process that educators use to improve their teaching strategies and enhance student learning outcomes in the context of third grade classrooms. Action research focused on identifying challenges young learners face and implementing strategies to address them. For instance, a teacher might notice that some third grade struggles with reading comprehension or staying focused during lessons. Through action research, the teacher designs and tests interventions such as introducing storytelling techniques or using visual aids to see if they help students improve. The goal of action research in third grade education is to understand the specific needs to young learners, develop creative and effective teaching strategies, continuously assess and refine methods based on real-time feedback. This process empowers teachers to create a more engaging, supportive and productive learning environment tailored to the development stage of third grade students. Now action research. Conducting action research on third grade students who are not reading words properly. In our class, there are 20 students. Among the 20 students, 4 students are not identify the words. Comprehensive reading is crucial for academic success as it enables to understand and interpret text meaningfully. Many of my third class students struggle with reading due to limited vocabulary, lack of obscenities, so difficulty in making connecting between ideas. So I want to do an action research seeking to address these issues through targeted interventions. Okay, statement of the problem. How to improve reading skills of third grade students and what will be specific teaching strategies and activities. Now let us go to objectives. To improve student ability to read and write words. To improve critical thinking on reading skills while reading. To improve the habit of active and engaged reading. Research questions. What will be the reading strategies to help to improve reading comprehension among third grade students? How does identify the letters influence reading skill? what will be the role of students? Engagement is improving students in comprehensive reading. Among 20 students, 4 students to be targeted group in third grade. Basing on my preliminary assessment of all students as struggling with comprehensive reading. Plan of action. Pre-assessment. To conduct a reading test, observe reading habits during classroom activities, to conduct students, parents survey to identify problem and also our colleagues. How much affect migration of parents in students reading? It was I was asked 4 colleagues in our mandal. They are also faced that kind of problem. They are give some advices to reduce this problem. Strategies of intervention. Building vocabulary. To create word game with the new words learned from texts. To use flashcards and vocabulary games. To ask open-ended questions. To encourage the use of context clues to understand unfamiliar words. Enhancing comprehension skills. To teach active reading strategies such as group reading, peer group reading, individual reading, predicting, questioning, summarizing and clarifying the doubts of the people. To develop peer group reading, collaborative reading and individual reading to provide personalized support. Using teaching learning material like snacks and ladder game with words, word charts, word game like Antakshari, ask so many open-ended questions filled with words. Such a timeline, when and how often the activities will be conducted. Example, daily for 20 minutes for 4 weeks.
Any comments, any feedback from your side? Anybody? Especially on the action plan. Does it look realistic? Yes or no? Yes, he can implement all those things like peer reading, collaborative reading, summarizing and then group reading. What grade he is talking about? Third standard.
Because of my class.
And what is the main area for research? Reading, under reading? Word reading. Word reading, right? So for word reading, do you have to do all this? He's talking about critical thinking, active and engaged reading, comprehensive reading, peer reading, all that is, huh?
To enhance the reading comprehension.
No, just for the sake of using these words, you don't have to bring them in your report. It sounds very high. All these are high sounding words. Can third standard children engage themselves in critical reading, critical thinking, and then group reading, peer reading, collaborative? Can they do that? Third standard. I'm more worried about the implementation of all this in third standard. Please write what you can do, not something that is not achievable, right? Something that you can achieve in 1 month. Begin with those activities, very simple activities. So if it is word reading, I like some of the activities you have mentioned, like he says flashcards. Flashcards, yeah, snake and ladder will definitely help you. Such language games, word reading games, snake and ladder will help them to read and recognize words. Flashcards will help them to read words, word recognition. And if these flashcards are from the textbook, as he said, words from the textbook, more useful, right? So you can do it as part of your regular teaching. You don't have to do action research separately. So I think it's all mixed. You'll have to arrange these activities in a sequence, in an order, according to the difficulty level. Which is the easiest one to do? Which activity you should begin first, right? Put them in a sequence. Discuss with your friends, right? Yeah. Yes, interesting, very good. Is it a genuine topic? A genuine problem? Yes, of course, third standard student. Do you think they should be able to read words or not? Yes or no? Yes, of course, right? If they can't read words in third standard, fourth, they'll not be able to do much in English. So good topic. Yeah? Okay, right. Thank you. Next, please. What's the topic? Anyone make it short.
This is Pratima of Andhra Pradesh. Good morning, all of you. I have taken the topic of reading. The classroom issue of the of my school is some children are good at listening, speaking and writing, but most of them are unable to read or pronounce the words properly.
Which class?
5th class I have taken, sir. Initial findings or observations, sir. Between the sentences there is a they don't know how to emphasize in the words, stressing, giving gaps, pronunciation, emphasizing, word to word pauses, due to mother tongue slang, due to no daily usage of English, I think. Strategies I have taken. Space for talking about the literacy text. It is important to provide space to express their feelings, ideas. The purpose of using literature while reading is to strengthen language, develop patience through listening, develop imagination, enhance critical thinking and understanding about human. Read aloud session helps the learner to achieve two important goals of language teaching. They create our interest to draw their attention by various styles of opening and closing of story. The final aim of loud reading is to read silently, carefully and understand. Reading in classroom. It is making to learn the language because reading skill add to the competency of the students in other subject areas. However, young children can develop an interest in reading only if they have access to interesting, meaningful and age-appropriate books. This promotes active and engaged reading. Finally, the language should be flexible and not rigid. They should be allowed to talk freely without any critics, bullying or comments by peer group. There should be constructive comments and complimentary comments also. To conclude, there should be an appropriate instructions and conversation with simple language and vocabulary for primary level children. Initial findings and observation. I have written some administrative issues also, sir, by the government. If you excuse, I will explain, sir. AP government introduced a change in all subjects by the introduction of bilingual printing of the books. They provided dictionaries, picture dictionaries, concept of learn a word a day, and at the end of the month, conducting tests or spell bee plays an important role. Good kind of practices were induced, but at the ground level, time is not sufficient due to lot of smartphone applications, I think. As a teacher, I personally feel learner need to be polished at Anganwadi level, but most of the children are not pre-polished at the pre-primary level. It would be easy for the primary teacher to teach them in the classes for primary. Orally, numbers, alphabets, days, week, some GK items. From my observation, 60 to 50% students were not trained by teachers by many factors, I don't know, blah blah blah, so many things are there. Government is providing vast resources, but the result is only 40% are tutored. Sir, one more point I have to. From teachers' perspective, teachers are 50% busy with WhatsApp messages from Mandal Office, CRPs, MU1 to Google Sheets, Google Forms, RIESI, Indian Ragi, so many things are there, sir. Teacher is full-fledgedly unable to cope with children due to continuous unacademic work, and that lead to drop-off role, and single school teachers are remained with teaching multi-classes, multi-subjects. That also is a time-taking process for a single teacher. As I am a single teacher, I have only 20 students, all the 5 classes. There is also OMR sheets introduction. We have to suffer with the small kids. We have to bubble that OMR sheets and all. That's a lot of work. By drilling the words, pronunciation will be polished, I think. Grammar should be taught by usage of language in classes itself by the teacher. Peer group talking, sharing thoughts will also be helpful. The teacher have to develop good communication skills in children by role plays, small moral stories, anecdotes, etc. Children at home can read in the app called Read Along app. It is like a game. Those who can study, they can gain some stars, points. It is also fun learning at home from their parents if there are smartphone availability. As a teacher, I once gave some home assignments like writing words, what we use from morning to evening, daily words. They did a small research and wrote many words. Another home assignment like writing names of cars. They all like cars, no? Audi, BMW, etc. I told them to write cars names and pronounce them with their inculcate interest in them. Most of the teachers are from Telugu medium background, and parents of the students also have Telugu medium background with just primary level study. So they are very much fond of English medium. So many parents in my area especially, they send the children for convents for English medium private schools. For the purpose of best learning practices, children should be given a wide range of exclusive reading practice in classroom itself. Grammar is just a framework or a skeleton of the language. As a teacher, we should learn English language from all sources, library, internet, television, etc. But we should let our students to talk a kind of English sentences and words. Usage is important. Language should be flexible. Allow them to make mistakes and learn from them. Give them mind mapping. Case study of every children is important. We have to do a small kind of research. We have to know the background of every kid. Action plan, activities and objectives, I want to say. Read along with the teacher loudly. Vocabulary pronunciation will improve the skill of the reading. Learn the pauses. They have to learn the pauses in between, where to stop and when to stop between the sentences while reading. Talking in English when entering into the classroom. This makes them to familiar to the usage of the language. This is an important thing, main thing to be highlighted. From my perspective, conducting assembly in English news, reading the news in English, learn a word a day with meaning in mother tongue, make them to talk in class by giving role plays, characters, make them familiar with the emotions, smiley pics, example happy, sad, angry, confused, etc. Preparation of some known items and guiding them. Saying conversations, small instructions. Stage fear should be gone. Make them to sing rhymes and sing movie songs also in their mother tongue. Daily read along a practice in their houses of English language by daily instructing them and ask questions to instructing them to read along with peers, etc. We have to give them a task about pose questions to teacher in whatever language you like. We have to be free with the students. Tell them to listen to teacher's instructions. Example, close your eyes, open your books, stand up, etc. Yes, sir. Some 3 points are there. With the help of mother tongue, use instructions and apply in peer groups by instructing each other. Making them to conduct assembly and developing leadership qualities among them, roll number wise, and make everyone to participate in daily activities like thought for the day, pledge, etc. Dictating to peer groups to check pronunciation words starting with the A, B, C, and making some sentences also.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, clap. Is it for 1 month or for 3 months? 1 month only. Oh my God! 1 year I think it will take. Yes. So this is a problem. I think, yeah. So good presentation was good. She knows what is the problem of her students, what can be done and all that. But you have brought many things in your report, many different things. So what happens is you lack focus. So in action research, you should stay focused. You should stay focused. Select a very specific problem and do activities related to that problem and see if there are any changes. So you have administrative issues, okay, but not necessary to talk about Anganwadi teachers and all that. They have not done. That
is the main problem.
That is okay if you ask. See, we're just playing a blame game. High school teachers, they will say primary teachers. College lecture, they say high school. It's so never ending. problem. So, and Anganwadi, if you ask them, they'll say, so parents have not taught it. If parents can teach everything, then why will they send their children to school? They will not. You're right. Yeah. So that is, yeah. So no need to mention all that. And then about the workload, everybody knows that teachers are loaded with huge amount of work, that everybody knows. For example, yeah. But the point is, do you lose yourself in doing all the administrative work, unacademic work? Do you lose your own identity as a teacher? Do you allow that to happen, or do you again stay focused? You may be asked to do many things, but you should also tell them that this year I am doing, this month, December, please don't give me any additional work. I am doing action research. You should tell them, but they will not listen. I know, they will not listen. But what I am saying is, tell your colleagues, tell your HM that you are busy with action research for 1 month only. 1 month, please don't disturb me. I have to complete this. I have to submit a report. Already you. Yes. The single teacher school I understand. But what I'm saying is, which is more important? All right. Doing all the unacademic work or doing academic work? Yeah. You're there to teach, right? Right. Yes. See, for example, immediately after this training, if your HM asks you, sir, there is CCRT training in Jaipur, would you like to go? You'll say, yes, I'll go, sir. You should say, no, I don't want to go this time. Please, next year I'll go. This time I don't want to go because I have to do this. That is your commitment. All right. So there'll be lots of other work. Sometimes it's up to the teachers. They'll give you some other project. All right. So if it is mandatory, you can't help it. But if it is optional, I think you should, keep postponing those things and give priority to this. Right. So you'll have to make such decisions. You should not allow others to make decisions on your behalf. All right. Something that is affecting your life, your personal, professional life. Who has to make decisions? You have to make decisions, right? They cannot make decisions for you. Yes, right. So it's always good to share this with your colleagues and with others, so that they will not burden you with lot of work immediately after the training. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is, you're saying teacher should do this. Teacher should develop their communication skill. Teacher should collect knowledge from various sources. Should. I don't want the word should in your report. Don't advise others what teacher should do. I'm more interested in what I want to do. All right. I want to do this. I want to do this. All right. So avoid should and can also. Can do this, can do that. Can we know? We can do many things. But are we doing is the question. Right. So please avoid can, should, must. All right. And focus more on what is possible. And then, see, we can give them mind mapping. We can do this, we can do that. That's all right. Yeah. Then children can use read-along apps. Can is different. But where is the time to do all this? So action plan is fine actually. I think that is the most important thing. The last action plan you presented, madam, that is interesting. You talked about many practical things, like one is encouraging them to read newspapers in assemblies, newspaper reading, a word a day, and then listening to instructions, and all that is fine. But again, your focus is on, what do you want to do? Focus on reading, right? Reading. So how will movie songs in mother tongue help them in reading? Translating. Yeah, if you're able to justify that, it's fine. Good. That's it. To create interest, to motivate, to create interest. Movie songs will create interest, like as names of cars, Audi and all that. To create interest, just to create interest. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Yes. So stay focused. All right. Okay. Next, I think that is it. Anything else? So what you can do is, instead of getting confused with all this, some of you, your teaching practice, you're preparing lesson plans, right? Based on learning outcomes. Same lesson plan. See, here you are using the lesson plan with the peer group, but learning outcomes are all for students. They're the learning outcomes for primary grade students, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8. So same learning outcomes you can select, same activities which you conduct here, you can extend that and try to do it with your students. That can be your action research. It's very simple. Only thing is, you should put your mind and soul into it, not just preparing this lesson plan for the sake of doing teaching practice. If you do it well, if your lesson plan is really, really interesting, useful, use the same lesson plan in your classroom and see what is the effect. Are these activities useful to 5th grade students, 6th grade students? First week, try that lesson plan. For second week, write another lesson plan. Continue that, continue the same learning outcomes, do related activities. So lesson plan that you're preparing will be very useful in your classroom research, right? Okay, that's it. Yeah, so let's move on to reading now. Yeah.